So, you've probably seen the headlines, right? The big wedding between music composer Palash and cricketer Smriti Mandhana was suddenly called off. And of course, the speculation started flying everywhere, but the story that really seemed to stick was that Smriti was the one who made the final call.
But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if the person who decided to hit the brakes on the wedding wasn't Smriti at all, but actually Palash himself? Well, that's the big question we're digging into today, because it turns out there's a much deeper and honestly a more moving story here than anyone first thought. So let's get right into it. Thanks to some new information straight from Palash's mother, we can finally piece together the untold story of what was really going on behind the scenes.
Okay, so on one side, you have the public story that everyone ran with. Smriti calls off the wedding. But on the other side, we have the reality, as told by Palash's mom, Amita. And she reveals that actually, Palash had already decided to postpone everything, even before Smriti. So the big question is, why?
Well, the reason has absolutely nothing to do with cold feet, and everything to do with a really powerful emotional bond. This is a story about a relationship that, in that critical moment, just meant more than anything else. A bond that went way beyond the vows they were about to take.
I mean, this quote from Palash's mother, it says it all. She's talking about the relationship between Palash and Smriti's father, Srinivas Mandhana, who Palash affectionately calls uncle. She says, they are closer than Palash and Smriti. That is an incredibly powerful statement. It just completely reframes this entire situation.
So this really breaks down Palash's thought process. First, you have to understand he has this incredibly deep emotional attachment to Smriti's father. Then, just before the wedding, his uncle falls seriously ill. And that's the crucial moment. Palash makes the decision, this wedding, it simply cannot happen until the man he is so close to has fully recovered. Period.
And this isn't just a rumor, this is a direct quote from his mother. She said, before Smriti, Palash decided he wouldn't do the wedding rituals until uncle gets well. That single sentence reveals the true sequence of events and the completely selfless reason behind his decision.
But making a decision like that, under so much pressure, well, it comes at a cost. And this selfless act took a hidden and very serious toll on Palash himself.
Let's just walk through what happened next. The Haldi ceremony, which is this really joyful pre-wedding ritual, was already done. But according to his mother, the sheer weight of the situation just became too much for him. He was so overwhelmed with emotion and worry that his health took a sudden, sharp nosedive, and he actually ended up in the hospital.
He was there for 4 hours. 4 hours on what was supposed to be a day of pure celebration. It's just unbelievable.
So the doctors gave him an IV drip, they ran an ECG, and a whole battery of other tests. And the results? Every single one of his medical reports came back totally normal. Physically, he was fine. He was in the hospital for 4 hours simply because of extremely high stress levels. His body was literally having a physical reaction to the immense emotional burden he was carrying for his family.
So when you take a step back and look at all of this, the entire story just transforms. It stops being tabloid news and becomes this powerful lesson on what a deeper commitment can truly look like.
Ultimately, this isn't just about moving a wedding date. It's a story about priorities. It's a statement that the health and the presence of a beloved family member meant more than the ceremony itself. It's this quiet but incredibly powerful demonstration of what family and loyalty are all about.
And it really leaves us all with a final thought to reflect on. In a world so focused on public celebrations and these huge, grand gestures, this story asks us to think about what's happening behind the scenes. It really makes you wonder, what does a true commitment really look like?